that limits you from, the things that you can do for other projects. Because somebody just takes a look at one huge project and like, this open source thing is hard, it just involves code, no, the people here are not welcoming, etc, etc. Try somewhere else. If one project is not going for you, it's okay to move on. It's okay to check out. So there are a million projects, more than a million projects on GitHub. There are awesome projects that are hidden, probably because they don't have good documentation, probably because the maintainer got burnt out. They cannot they don't have the time to get back to it. So you can find these projects, you can reach out to these people. And another good way that you can get involved after Hacktoberfest is reviewing pull requests. This is like code reviews. This is very underrated, but it's a very good thing. It's a very big thing, because you don't necessarily have to review every pull request. There are pull requests that are small, pull requests that the maintainers, they don't have the how can I say this? As a maintainer of a project that is huge, assuming that I'm a maintainer of a project that is huge, I want to pay attention to contributions that actually, they what word am I looking for? They actually make the project go ahead. So the small contributions like fixing typos, they delegate those things to other people, to other maintainers. So you can actually go on a repository and you can check out these small contributions. Somebody who is making a typo fix, or somebody who adjusted something in the CSS, or somebody who did something in the HTML code. Since as somebody who knows HTML and CSS, this is an advantage for you. You can actually review the contribution that person has made. If there is an error, you can say, sorry, you did this here, which might not work. Please consider changing it, or this or that. Or you could actually approve. You could say, this looks good, your contribution, very appreciated. Thank you very much for doing this. The maintainer of the project, or the maintainers of the project, are going to see you. They know that you're there to help. And if you keep up with this, like if you're constantly showing up on that project, doing what you can, helping others contribute, then you don't know where that might take you. So I don't know if I've been talking too much. I feel like I haven't talked enough, but those are the few tips that I kind of have to share for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that, Emmy. Do you prefer Emmy or do you prefer Injunk, or do you prefer the two?
I prefer Emmy, but you can call me Njong or the two. It's okay.
All right, okay, I think I'll go with Emmy. So that was a very very nice one. I mean, aside the fact that I got something, those of us that we usually bags, I think is another time to think of actually really really participating and getting to do a lot of important stuff. So Precious, can you I mean we've heard a lot from Amy today. So Precious, I mean you told me you were kind of new to the open source thing. So what do you think you've kind of like gotten so far from what Amy has said? Precious.
To be sincere, I got a lot, starting from the fact that she said, um, no place is too small to start from. You can start from anywhere. Make sure you are ready to learn. According to how I put it, what she said is make sure you are ready to learn and learn more. Try to be open. You understand? Try to be open and try to seek for advice generally. And sincerely, I'm going to put this into consideration. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much for that. And like she said, you shouldn't be scared of starting very very small by looking for some errors, document some readmes, trying to fix those little issues. They are very valuable, but some of us, like they say, we like to do things that are probably really, really overwise, but we can really, really start small, and that will really, really, really like make a lot of difference. So, Emmy, any concluding words for your session for us as you guys moving forward after Oktoberfest?
Okay, concluding words, don't stop contributing to open source when October stops, or when Hacktoberfest stops, because after some people, after the 4 pull requests, they get the email from Hacktoberfest to claim their swag. They think that is just it. It's over. But no, open source continues after Hacktoberfest. It continues after October. Like, if you actually want to get your hands dirty, if you actually want to gain the skills, collaboration skills, talking to other people, seeing what big open source companies, how the workflow, is like, I would suggest, or I would advise that you continue doing what you're doing. Yeah, so that is my advice to anyone who is really interested and wants to continue.
Okay, all right. So you say, are you telling us that, for example, someone like me that just goes for the swag, we should stop going for the swag?
Going for the swag is not wrong. The t-shirt is cool. I mean, the stickers are cool, but you have to enjoy the process. You have to know why you're doing it, because I think that many people who get into it and stop, it's just for the swag. For them, it was just for the t-shirt, and that is it. But if you want something more further with, you obviously have to continue. So yeah, it's okay to go for the swag.
All right. Because I really felt like that was exactly talking to me. I was just going for the swag. But now I think I'll definitely change a lot moving forward. Before we go on to the next things, I think coming in was Anthony Ackman, which is the GDSC lead for Unilag and also an active open source contributor. Ackman, do you have anything you want to say first? Can you just say hi to everyone? Hello, Anthony. Can you just say hi to everyone? All right. I think Anthony is trying to get his connection ready. And he does that. I'm pretty sure he'll give.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, yes, sir.
So I was not the presenter. I could not speak.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, hi everyone. The event so far, actually, as Manuel said, we have been going for the swags. I felt attacked, but I also do contribute to open source outside October 1st. So yeah, I did not really feel that attacked. But the I've learned a lot actually. Very nice convo info session.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much for that. And like Amy has said, we should not just go for the swags alone. It's not just about looking cool or having those stickers on your laptop. It's actually about contributing to open source. Open source. So do we? Does anyone have any question? Oh, what did you say,
yes,
please?
there is a question in the chat. Yeah, there's a question in the chat box. I'll just read out the
All
question
right.
for So someone is talking about people that just want to start
All right.
contributing into like open source. So what if you probably go and scatter somebody's project? Like you are not that good, but you just want to assist, all in the name of yes, I want to contribute. So what if you scatter somebody's?
Okay, I see that Dara asked the question. So it is very the probability of this happening is low, but it happens. So when you fork a project and the project is on like your local computer, if you want to make any changes and you're not very sure what is going to happen, create a branch. So Dara, I would suggest that you look at branches. So creating a branch is like, from, let me put this simply, moving the project from one path to another path. And then the other path, which is the branch that you've created, you can, add your changes there. You can break stuff, you can check, you do whatever you want. It doesn't affect like the main repository. Now, once you're sure that what you have added, because when you're doing whatever you're doing on that branch, you can maybe if it's an HTML or a CSS project, you can run it on your browser. You can see what it looks like. And if you're confident, even if you're not confident, go ahead and open a pull request. Somebody will review this pull request. And if they suspect that you have any changes that might break or any unwanted changes or something that might affect the main code base, they will review it. They might tell you to change it. They might, or if it's perfect, they merge it. And sometimes they think it's perfect and they merge it and it still breaks. And that is okay. It is a very it's not a bad thing. This has happened to me once. There was a Tailwind components repository that I wanted to contribute to, and it looked good on my But when I pushed it to, when I pushed it to GitHub and I opened the pull request, the preview link from it was Vercel, I think. The preview link from Vercel, it looked terrible. So I was trying to fix the code itself on GitHub. I was editing my code on GitHub, and Vercel only gives the maintainer a limited number of build time, something of that sort. And I exhausted all of it. And the maintainer was like, "Why were you making so many commits for small changes?" So we're out of build times. So I panicked. I panicked normally because I thought I had broken something, but they fixed it. So even if your pull request breaks something, you should know that there's going to be someone to fix it, and that should not discourage you. It should not make you feel bad. You were just trying to help, and any good maintainer would know that.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Emmy. Precious, do you remember this meme of where a programmer was talking about a project and it says it works on my PC? Do you remember that?
It works on my PC, but not on live.
No, on
Of course, I
everyone.
do.
So in case you've created a branch and it's probably working on yours and you probably do something and it breaks the whole project. Like Emmy has said, it's okay. It's okay to try some things with your hands, and if you get stuck or you make some mistakes, definitely it will get fixed. Thank you very much, Emmy, for that session. We'll still be holding on for the panel session after the second speaker. Then, if we have any questions, we can start noting that down ahead of the panel session. Thank you very much, Angel Gaming. At least now I know I'm not just going for the swags, Precious. Now the next time we're going, I'm not just going for the swags and what that thing I'm not going for again, Precious.
We're actually going to learn, not just the
So I
swags.
learn not just the swags. So that
Not
means if you
just
get
being
the
a
swags,
baller.
that means if you get the swags, I can get your swags from you, and I would have like double swags.
No, hold your swag. I'm not giving you mine.
All right, all right. Thank you very much, Emmy, for that
Actually,
session. Okay, so moving on to the next session. We're going to be talking about how to set up an open source project. How do you set up an open source project? How do you get to contribute? How do you do all those things? And anchoring that session will also be Susmita Day, and I'll hand over to Precious to introduce her. So she'll tell us about what she does and how we'll get to learn from her. Precious, can you introduce her for
yes,
us?
I'm so happy. I'm happy to introduce to us. She's a computer science undergraduate student and a software engineer with open source skills and a web developer. She's here to enlighten us more on how to set up everything under open source projects. I can't wait to learn. I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. In Nigerian terms, this
Hi.
say yeah, hi, Susmita. In Nigerian terms, we'll say it's plenty, meaning there's a lot to actually really learn. So you're welcome
Yeah.
to the call, Susmita, and we'll be passing on to you now to really elaborate and let us know how can we get to contribute to open source. Beginners like me, beginners like Precious, that every time we've always been getting the swags, and now we're learning that
Yes,
we can
I'm a pure
actually
beginner.
contribute. So how do we get to set up and contribute to the projects? Thank you very much, Susmita.
Hello everyone. I'm pretty much honored as I'm invited for this event. Frankly speaking, this is my first event as a speaker. I'm very much excited for it. As my introduction has already been done, but still I want to introduce myself. I'm Shashmita De from India. I'm passionate about hackathons and open source, and currently I'm an MLH mentor and graphic designer at Community Classroom. I love building projects and collaboration. So, my my topic is how to set up an open source project. Basically, I hope that you might have been familiar with Git and GitHub, especially, and Git. Some might have been familiar with GitLab too. I want to showcase you something hands-on. Before that, can I want to ask Emmanuel, can I share my screen?
Of course you can.
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I will move with how to uh, upload your project or make your project open source, and then enable for contribution. And I will also show you how you can then contribute to some other projects. So here, if I click on this icon and create a new repository, let's name it as demo. You will name it as per your project. Okay. And choosing a license is always I'd recommend to do, and adding a readme file. So here's the repository has been created, and you can upload your project here, the source code of your project, and it will be it will be open source now, and anyone can contribute. Let me upload some files. This can be done in two ways: making your code open source and pushing and publishing it on GitHub, so that everyone can check your code and see what's in the code and contribute to it. This can be done in two ways. One, you can click on here, upload files, and then choose your files and upload some files from your laptop or desktop. Let me add something here. Okay, I'm choosing this first D app which I made recently. You can see these things are uploaded. And one more thing, if you don't want to upload in this way, then you can also upload it another way. Let me show you first this thing. And you can write some commit messages like adding files or adding source code, and then directly commit changes. So you can see these things have been uploaded, and now this project is open sourced. And I can also change my repository name and convert it into my project name by heading over to the settings part. Let's name it as the app or rename. You can see this has been changed. And another one which I was telling you, you can either clone this repo and in your desktop and add it to upload a few files, or I recommend to you to use the git commands, as your files are already there in your laptop or desktop. Then what you can do, just head over to your repo and use some git commands. For git commands, I may I expect that you all have a Git cheat sheet. If not, I would like to give a link to you so that you can use it and learn from it. Use it in your daily life. Okay, cheat sheet. Let's search for it. It's available under GitHub Education. Yeah, this is the one which I'm talking about. I'm putting it in the chat. Kindly do access it, and you can use it in your daily life. Things are very much pretty and simple. And what I was telling about uploading, you can do that after installing Git, which you can, if you search for Git and go here and download as per your setup. I'm having on Windows and it's already downloaded. And since I'm in Windows, so that's why it's showing me Windows here. You just download it and set it up, and then you can use these commands. Let me show you. Copying this, opening in terminal, git bash. Okay, leave since I'm running out of time. Sorry for that. There's some issue with my keyboard. Don't know what's happening. So this is how you can make your project open source. And in the issues section, you can create issues by yourself, or any contributors can create issue by clicking on this new issue tab. Example, uh, improve documentation. Okay. What you can improve in case of documentation? You can improve the readme file. You can elaborate. Suppose, let's say you want to elaborate the readme file and to write more about the project. And let's say I want to take Emmanuel from here as the maintainer of this project as an example. And let's say I'm a contributor who just came across this project and want to contribute to this project. So basically what I will do, I will first head over to the issues tab and create a new issue. And I want to improve the readme file. These are the markdown syntax. You can see this has been rendered. If you have problem about or if you don't know, if you are a beginner, complete beginner, want to learn about markdown, you can just do that by searching for markdown cheat sheet. In even I have written a blog on Hashnode on markdown guide. You can also check that. Let me show you and put it in the chat too. You can access it by this link, and there's a list of it, as you can see. What is markdown use case and the syntax of everything. I will put as much as I can and you can all use it as a markdown cheat sheet. Okay, so coming back to this issue part, submit the issue. And let's say and as I said, as an example, that Emmanuel is the maintainer of this project. So Emmanuel will just come here and he will get some sort of notification like this. I have pretty much now for my other projects. Going back to that repo. Yeah. So what he will do, he will just check the issue, and then he will assign me like this. After and now I can see that I have been assigned this issue. So I am ready to work on it. So there are various commands. I will basically first fork it and then clone it. Let me show you. If I click on here and then fork it, I have a GitHub organization, so I can put it there and show you how to fork and clone things. So this is a so here I have put the repository, and then here if I go with, let me open the git bash, and I will do git clone, then paste it. And now I will open my Visual Studio Code. This opens up. Can anyone confirm that you can see my VS Code, the Visual Studio Code part? Kindly let me know.
Yes, you can.
Okay, thanks. So here's the README, and I have to update it as I have been assigned that part of that sort of issue. Let me name it as PM, and this is this is the Web3 project. You can write a beautiful README files after you learn how to use Markdown. As there's a .md file, which means it's a Markdown file. So I recommend you to go through this cheat sheet and learn first, and then you can beautify as you want. If I scroll down, let's you can under one important thing is that you can also use emojis to beautify it, and emojis and images. Use images like this and everything you want. An example of a beautiful readme I can show in my repositories. I have many. This is one of my favorite project till now. What I have built. This is Cocoon, and it's a stress relieving website project. You can see I've just how I have written and made things clean and neat. Okay, if I go here, then I can show you this is the code behind which after getting rendered looking like this is the markdown thing, and this is the output of that. You also can do that in a similar way. And if you want to make one important thing I just remember, if you want to make your GitHub profile as beautiful as this, then I want to recommend you a YouTube, not a YouTube course, a course of 30 minutes by Edi Chowdhury. It's a 30 minutes course. Let me share it in the chat. Edi Chowdhury is my inspiration. I learned how about GitHub, and also getting into open source from him only. And my first contribution was on Adhere only, and also learned about how to customize the GitHub profiles from his course. Link is in the chat. You guys can check it out. Okay, so where was we? Yeah. Uh, Sorry, I forgot to do one more thing here. Just copying this. when you have been assigned some task, do one important thing. Always create a new branch, and it's highly recommended so that you don't lose things from in your main branch. Git checkout. Folks who are not used to Git commands, I recommend to watch some Git tutorials and also follow the cheat sheet which I have shared with you in the chat. The docs. A new branch has been created by this command, and now I can make the changes. VS Code is super handy in making PRs and doing all the changes after you get assigned. So if I go here, I have modified this file only. So let me stage by this. You can also stage the changes by doing git add and the name of the file .md in this case, but faster for me here. So you can see this staged. This has been staged, and then let me write some commit messages. This can also be done from here also. Okay, let me show it from here only. Same things, just in different ways. Okay, update docs. Okay, and then we will be publishing your branch. Then sync changes. Okay, and now let's get back to our fork repository. Yeah, this one. Refresh, and you can see branch docs has recent pushes. So we will do compare and pull request, update docs, and then leaving it as it is. We'll do closes, put the issue number here, like this. One, and also do mention your changes, and if it's a change in code and you are working on a website and you have made some changes in the website by doing code contribution, then I would recommend you always to attach a screenshot while submitting a PR. This is a good way to submit PRs and maintain, and is also helpful for maintainers to review things. For now, I am writing as I have updated the readme file. Also, always requested this thing, kindly review my PR and merge it. Let's create a pull request. And it's done. Now, as I've taken Emmanuel as an example, as a maintainer of this project, so you will just come up and go to this pull request tab and just go here and review it and then approve. Since it's my repository, so I can do it directly. Uh, it's a work of a maintainer, and then you will directly merge this pull request after approving, like this. And then you guys can you guys will get a notification, and you can then delete the branch after that, as the work of the branch has been completed. So that's it, and you can see the changes is reflected now. So I hope I'm able to explain everything as much as I can, and you all are able to understand. I would like to take up some quick questions from the folks who are watching right now.
All right, all right. Thank you very much for that session, Susmita. I was actually along with my system here, and I was watching every single thing getting updated on GitHub. I mean, that's really really amazing. That's amazing. As regards everything I could do with open source. So, if you have any questions, please ensure you drop it in the comment section.
One question to Emmanuel. Have I missed anything?
No, not necessarily, no, as well.
Okay, thank you. Waiting for some questions.
Okay, I think let me ask my question. For example, let's say the branch that was merged now, and
Yeah.
um, uh, and I want to make sure that let's say some of those changes are actually not so good, and I want to ensure that those things are actually corrected. Let's say from the update, it's not so good. So how will I do that?
So you are basically telling me that you have done some changes and which are not good, and you want to tell the maintainer that it's perfect, right?
Yes, let's say for example, the README file you just updated now,
Yeah.
or let's say I notice that there's a typo there, and I want
Yes.
that to be corrected. So since it's already merged, how will I correct that?
Since it's already merged, after that you can make another issue and tell that maintainer that I made this kind of mistake. I want to make the changes and assign me. Then after he assigns you, you can create another pull request. And one more thing, if you have already made a pull request but it's not merged and you are watching that there's a typo mistake, you can still edit that file. How? Let me show another example. Am I running out of time? Manual. Okay. Toby Loba,
I
am I
think you're
running?
good. You're not running out of time.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me show. Since this has been merged, let me make a typo mistake by myself. For example, let me do this. You can see this is a typo mistake, and a maintainer has done that. Okay, so you want to fix it. You can again go to issues and get assigned. I'm not going for that. Creating issues and getting assigned all that stuff. What I will do?
Okay.
Good.
Okay, for example, from my hand here, can I create the issue from here? So it's
Yes, 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 yes. Let me drop the repository link in the chat. And meanwhile, Emmanuel is creating issues. Let me show you one thing. Here, after when you see that your pull request have been merged, and at that time you can go to your forked repo and then sync. Click on here sync fork and update branch. In this case, the changes will also be reflected here. You can say I just made a typo mistake incidentally, and it's been reflected here. You can update it after manual creates an issue. Let me show you.
Created an issue.
Yeah, typo error. Okay, so this is I'm assigning this to Emmanuel, and now you can see Emmanuel has been assigned, and he can now fork this repo and make PRs as I've already shown. For example, this is my organization and GitHub organization, and I've already forked here. Assume it that Emmanuel has done it, and now the issue has been assigned to Emmanuel, and he wants to make a PR and then update it. So what I will do here, back to my Visual Studio Code. Here I am I will do get branch to check the branches. You can see the branch docs is still there, but it's related from the GitHub repository, which is the forked one. I will create a new branch. First, I will switch to the main branch and then do git pull. Why? You can see when I am switching to git checkout main, the main branch, you can see your branch is behind the origin main by 3 commits. I've just merged. I've just updated my branch in the GitHub repo, and files and the changes are not reflected here. If I go to the readme file now, as I'm here, you can see it's still demo, but things have been updated here. So I need to
Okay.
update it locally also. So I will do git pull and things get updated. Now I will be creating a new branch using the command git checkout, then typo fix. Assuming that I'm not doing it, Emmanuel is doing it right now. As the issue
Yes,
has been.
I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I've already like
Oh,
created a
you
pull
have
request.
already done that? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So here, as I can see, has already done that. Here, as a maintainer, I'm reviewing it and I will give feedback. If changes are to be needed, then I would go for request changes option. But let me show if I go for request changes option how it looks. Go for add spaces or add a new line after web3 in heading, and then submit review. As a maintainer, I am doing it. And you can see when a maintainer requests some changes, this will look like this. And now Emmanuel have to push the code, and here in this branch only, Emmanuel have to add a new line here. So how he can do? He can either do it by directly from in his Visual Studio Code, and pushing it again as I did. Let me show you by doing this in on behalf of Emmanuel. Emmanuel, are you doing that or
Oh, I'm currently working on that.
you are going to work on that? Okay, it's done. You can see Emmanuel had pushed some changes and it's been reflected. Yeah, you can see a blank line has been already added. So now I will approve it. It's a peak review. I can also add labels here, and I'd also recommended to write about the issue which was assigned. I can update in on behalf this in behalf of on behalf of manual closes and then issue number, typo error, and then update comment. Yeah, and now I will be merging this and one thing I was about to show is that how you can update your pull request after it has already been done. If it's a small change like this, then you can go here and directly edit file and make the changes and then write some message and commit changes. That would be good to go. And your pull request will be updated with recent changes. So for now, I'm merging this pull request and it's done. Typo has been fixed. So that's it. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that.
And there are various problems that you can come across after you make PRs like merge conflicts and all those stuffs. Those are pretty easy. You can do it if you follow or if you learn from some kind of Git tutorials or if you go with the Git documentation. Let me share with you. Git. When you run into merge conflicts, you can go like this merge conflicts. Yeah, go with, you can either go with this and go with the free code camp blog. It's a practical guide and it's by Mr. Tapas Adhikari. He was one of the speaker in my yesterday's event. I had organized a Hacktoberfest event yesterday, and he was an awesome speaker. And he also explained he topics on Git and GitHub and how to make PRs and all other stuffs. Let me share both the links with you all in the chat. You might need this in
Uh,
your future. While
all right. Okay.
okay, any more questions?
We're going to be having a panel session shortly after this, so maybe the questions would have been dropped
Yeah, sure.
before that. Yeah. So Smito Day, thank you very much for this session. I personally learned a lot, and I'm telling Amy now, Amy that had the first session, that the next time I'm going to October 1st now, I'm definitely not going for the swags alone. I'm definitely fixing a lot of issues. Precious, I mean, we've learned a lot. Can you just share what you've gotten so far? Precious, Precious, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I was trying to unmute myself. Okay,
Okay, can
so
you tell?
I was able to go through the issues, git push and everything, git pull and the code, how to get as a beginner, how to get places I can contribute to. I was able to get few things from that, and that was great. Thank
All
you,
right.
D. That was an amazing one.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. So we're going to be moving on to the next part of the session, which is a panel session as regards what we've had so far. And as much as possible, we'll try to round up everything before 6:30 to ensure we keep to time. So we're going to be coming up with some questions that we've gotten so far in this panel session. Just a short discussion from Emmy and from Susmita Day as regards everything so far. So Emmy, please, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still present.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. So, Emmy, I'm going to be directing the first question to you. Emmy, what do you think are the necessary soft skills to have when contributing to open source? I mean, a lot of us are developers. We're good at what we could do when it comes to the technical skills. But what are the soft skills I think is necessary to contribute to open source?
Okay, the soft skills required to contribute to open source. Well, I have been in the open source space for a while. I have seen things, I have heard some valuable things. Some of the soft skills that I think are really important, both for the contributor and the maintainer. So I'm just going to kind of categorize it. So for the contributor, for the maintainer, let me go for the maintainer first. For the maintainer, you need to be patient. You need to be patient. Why? Because contributors also have lives. I kind of noticed that people are always telling contributors to be patient, wait until the maintainer gets back to you, don't spam like a discussion because it kind of creates spam in the maintainer's email. But maintainers have to also be patient because contribute if you perhaps you do a review on a pull request, the contributor will not does not necessarily have to be on seat to to go through your review and correct their code and update their pull request. So you have to give them time for this. Some repositories they have a bot that kind of reminds the contributor, this issue has been assigned to you for a few days now. Do you want to take it or should we assign it to somebody else? That is kind of great in projects that need to work fast. They want the issues to be solved ASAP. But some contributors are also kind of new. They want to take the time and understand, and giving them a few weeks. I guess you can remind them. You can ask a contributor later on, are you still interested in this issue, or should I assign it to somebody else, that kind of stuff. But it's okay to wait and hear their feedback, and then maybe you can assign the issue to somebody else. So my next point, I'll just move it. I'm sorry if I'm going to be too long. I won't be too long. I'll try to be brief. My next point for soft skills for maintainers is time management skills. So the first week after I made my open source project public, I was getting a ton of issues. I was getting a ton of pull requests, and I felt that I had to respond to them, very quickly. And that was kind of time draining. It was exhausting because I was working alone at that point. So it was kind of very difficult for me to manage everything, to be responding to every issue, assigning issues, checking pull requests, merging, closing. So it was tough. If you want to get other stuff done, if you maybe you have things that you want to do in your day and assume that you do, then you have to one solution that I found for this is dedicating some specific amount of time to reviewing pull requests, to working with contributors. So patience is first, time management skills, and I think the third most important skill, soft skill for a maintainer, is empathy. Empathy, why? Because the first time that I got my pull request merged, I was very excited. I was very happy. The maintainers were they were very kind. They were facilitators in the sense that they helped me get the pull request from the issue up to merging, and that was a very great experience. So if a contributor is coming to your project to come and work with you, you have to understand that doing they're taking out their time to do this. They're taking out maybe they're trying to learn something new. So you have to empathize with them. You have to, this merging this, being kind to this person, responding in this way is going to make this person happy. It's going to encourage the person, motivate the person to continue contributing to open source and to your project. So I think maintainers have to, empathize with contributors. And then moving over to contributors, soft skills that a contributor should have for open source. I think the first one is also patience, like I mentioned before. Maintainers have lives. Everybody has lives. So you will not expect to create an issue now, and you want me to immediately come and assign that issue to you. And the second that you create your pull request, you want me to come and merge it. It doesn't work like that. If you're somebody who is not patient and you cannot wait, I know that it's exciting, but you have to give people time to get back to you, and don't spam the issue, like the discussion on the issue, because once you start participating in an issue, GitHub starts sending you emails related to that issue. So if somebody replies, it will come to my email. So if you continue spamming the issue section, it's also creating havoc in the emails of the maintainer, and it's not a very good look for you as a contributor. The next soft skill is be nice. You have to be nice. Your pull requests will not be merged every time. Maybe what you added does not align perfectly with what the maintainers are looking for, or maybe your pull request was too big, they could not merge it. So if they close your pull request, don't be furious. Don't spam people. Don't insult people. Don't get enraged for nothing. And yeah, if they do close your pull request without giving you feedback, it's okay to ask, but ask politely. Is there something that I did that wasn't correct? A good maintainer will get back to you. A good maintainer should not even close your issue without feedback. So yeah, try to be polite when you're collaborating with other people as a maintainer or as a contributor. So those are the few tips, or the few points that I have to share.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that, Emmy. To be empathetic and to ensure that for both the maintainer and the contributor, that this soft skill is embedded in them. Thank you very much for that. So the next question is directed to Susmin today. I think Precious has been disturbing me for this question. So Precious,
Yes,
can you get over to Susmita?
sure, I can. Hi, Sumi. Today, I must really confess, it was a
Hi,
wonderful
Precious.
session with you. So, I really love to ask, like, generally, what do you think are the general technical skills to have while contributing to open source? As a beginner that I am, what do you think are just the general technical skills I should have?
You should be polite to a maintainer, and if you think that after making a PR or after creating an issue, it's been there for more than a week, and the maintainer is not active, and you are trying to repeatedly reach him out via his or her socials, and he's not replying, then in that case you should leave that repository and contribute to some other projects and not wasting time on it. And one more thing is that what is the most important thing, you have to be patient. You have to give at least 7 to 8 days time to the maintainer of the project to get your issues assigned or get your pull request reviewed.
All
Wow,
right.
thank you. Thank you so
So
much.
Precious, I think you've learned a lot from that. Rather than disturbing the maintainers the next time and
Yeah,
spamming
I
them,
did.
you should learn to be patient. Yeah, I think that's very good. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. And the last question, to I'm going to be directing this to Emmy, and I'm also going to be directing this to Sosmita. Then after this question, they can just give us like some concluding some final words as regards contributing to open source. So the next question is, what is your first advice to first time contributors that do not get their pull request merged? So I think I'm going to be asking you, Sosmita and Emmy, to talk about one experience that your pull request was not merged, and how do you think that first time contributors should deal with this? For example, beginners like me, let's say I find a very big issue, I try to fix it, and I used everything I had, and it didn't get pulled. I mean, I'm just supposed to be probably downcast or something. So what are your advice to people that are just contributing for the first time?
Okay. Uh, Susmita, do you want to go first?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, sure. Okay, so I think that this point is actually very important. The first thing that you want, I think the reason why some people's pull requests get closed, one reason, their changes were not, how can I put this nicely? Were not very needed. So the first thing that you want to do if you want to contribute to an open source project is create an issue first. Create an issue, tell them that, okay, so I have this idea, or there's this bug, there's this feature that I want to add. And if the maintainers accept that you should go ahead and add it, they will assign you, they will tell you, okay, go ahead. Or you can start, they can start a discussion with you. They can tell you, okay, this is not we're not what this is what we're not looking for at the moment. Maybe try here or maybe try later or something like that. But if you know in your head, you just feel that okay, this site needs a footer, and you go ahead and you just open a pull request for the footer, and the maintainers did not want a footer, then automatically they have to close your pull request. But that is still okay. That is, it should not dishearten you. It's not because they do not value your contribution. Maybe it's because they what you have to add is not what they're looking for at that specific moment in time. I will take my project for example. I have closed pull requests because some of the ideas that the people brought in was not something I was looking for, or it was something that I couldn't wrap my head around. It was something that I couldn't understand. So I either tell them to wait with the pull request while I finish some things and get back to them, or I tell them, okay, I'm sorry, but this contribution is much appreciated. It's not what we're looking for at the moment, and then I close the pull request. So it should not dishearten you. It does not mean that your contribution was useless. It has given you like practice time. It has given you some sort of small experience so that you know maybe next time you can create an issue first, get assigned before you work, and you know people closing your pull request in future is just going to be like it'll just seem normal to you. So the first time, don't take it too hard. Don't be too hard on yourself. It happens.
So I agree with what Emmy said, and I'd also like to add one more thing. Do not get demotivated, because if you don't try again, then you won't get that lovely experience of after your pull request gets merged. It was an awesome experience when my first pull request was merged into AD I made my first contribution there by adding my GitHub profile in one of the repos. I guess it was a awesome or amazing GitHub profile, something like that. And I'd like to drop it in the chat, the link of that repository. I also have a similar kind of repository where you can practice. Okay, let me share my organization repo first. Sharing the screen once more. Is it visible? Can anyone confirm?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So basically, this is the place where you can practice by practice of how to make PRs and how to contribute to open source project. The README file has a list of it, list of commands, and a list of other things which you can follow up and add and contribute to this repository and practice how to contribute to open source projects. I'm dropping it in the chat. And you, I can't say that I can't elaborate that how much happiness you will get after once your PR gets merged. Emmanuel, if it was your first pull request or first contribution which you did today in my project D app, then congratulations to you. And
Thank you very much.
And one situation what Amy said about when your PR gets closed. Suppose your pull request has some bad changes, or something was requested to make changes in your pull request, but you couldn't able to do that, and you just want to surrender. Then in that case, this thing might happen that. Your political will be closed, or you might have told to do some changes and you are not active, and this might be the case of your political getting closed. In that case, don't get demotivated. You can just create another issue, search for a bug fix, or search for some typo mistakes, or enhance the documentation. There are various parts of contribution in a project, in an open source project, and only code contributions are not mandatory. You can also go for no code contributions, like enhancing documentation and updating it, and also for searching for typo fix or grammatical errors. And apart from documentation, you can also make a UI UX for beautiful websites using Figma. It's a low code contributions, and also do that, and to just get up for creating another issue, and getting assigned, and then making new PRs, and hoping for the best, and do not commit the same mistake which you had already done, and in your last PR which was closed due to some bad issues. Do not do the same mistake, and hope for the best that your PR gets merged this time. And if it does, then congratulate yourself and share it on your socials that your first pull request has been merged, and you have contributed to this repository and this project. This will also help other contributors, or other folks in your community or around you. And they will also get inspired from you, and go ahead and start their open source journey. So this goes on. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Dave, for that. Thank you very much. I've really learned a lot today, and to be sure, just like myself and others, would definitely start and making sure we make a lot of contributions to open source. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Emmy. Thank you very much, Jasminta, for that session. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Precious, do you have anything you want to anything you want to say to our hosts for today, our speakers?
I'm really grateful. I'm happy that I'm here, and I want to say a very big thank you for sharing your knowledge with me, especially as a beginner. I am super happy, super grateful. Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you so much, Dee. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We can all drop our things, our messages, our appreciative messages in the chat section for Day and Amy for this session, and how they really helped a lot of us, particularly beginners like myself and Precious, to be able to contribute effectively to open source. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Amy. Thank you very much, Day. Thank you very much. So over to the next session. We're going to be moving on to the quiz session that will be anchored by our the quiz master here. So over to you.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Thank you very much. Thank you, Susmin, Susmita. Thank you very much, Njong, and Emmy. I'm not very good with pronouncing names, but so now let's go to our quiz session. So I have a very simple question, like I always do, yeah, and then just as we do it, none of the speakers or hosts are allowed to answer The question
Why?
is
Why?
strictly
I think
for.
open source has swags too. I mean, we should get swags or giveaways too.
Okay, let's do it this way. If none of the none of the attendees is unable to answer the question, then we move the question to the hosts. Then if none of the hosts is able to answer the question, then we move the question to the speakers. How about that?
All right, Precious, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking what you're thinking.
Okay, so the question is, what is the first open source software? Did you all hear the question? Please, no cheating. Yeah, so it's just So yeah, so what is the first open source software? So okay, Timilen Bakari A2 system. Well, that's very correct. That's very correct. Apparently, Emmanuel, you answered the question late. So yeah, Timilen Bakari, please reach out to our GDSC lead, Chromate, and then just let him know you're the one that won the quiz, and then he's going to see you. Yeah. So I guess that's all for the question. Okay, I think I have a bonus question here. Let's see if um we can find someone that gets this. Okay, so the question is, what year was the term open source coined? What year was it first coined? Oh, Yusuf, 1998. Well, that's the answer. That's the answer. Nice one, Yusuf. Nice one, Yusuf. So I think you should also reach out to Chromate, yeah, and tell him that you answered the second question for today's quiz. And then that's all for today's quiz. And then I don't know, I'll be handing over to the next host to like round up the event, and then you can all.
All right, all right. Thank you very much, Yusuf. Although I mean, we could have had our way around that question. I mean, it was some seconds faster. But it's all right. It's all right. I thank you, rather, George, rather. Thank you very much for that. So, um, again, I really, really appreciate everyone for coming here, particularly the speakers. So Smita, she really taught me a lot about open source and a lot of beginners like me, Emmy. She gave us a lot of things to actually incorporate into contributing to open source projects. So I mean, this is really an event I'm really glad I attended, and I'm really sure everyone here has learned one thing or the other. So Precious, what do you have for our speakers to really appreciate them? The co-host.
I'm really going to say a very big thank you to everyone for attending, for coming out here to learn, and also and also to teach, not just to learn. Those that taught us, to our host, sorry, to our speakers. Thank you so much, and to every other person that came to learn. I hope we all learned well. Thank you for coming.
All right. So I just want us to do one thing. Everyone, can you all unmute yourself and just say thank you, Emmy, thank you, Day. So everyone just unmute yourself and say thank you, Emmy, and say thank you, Day.
Thank,
Thank you,
thank you,
Emmy. Thank you,
Thank you,
Dave.
Emily.
Amy.
Thank you.
I really learned a lot from today's event.
Thank you very much. And yeah, that's a wrap. Have a wonderful day and have a wonderful time contributing to open source. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
Thank
inviting me. This
you.
was my first event as a speaker, and I'm really honored. And I also really enjoyed it. Hope to attend more events in near future.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to end the meeting now. Thank you very much.